Welcome to Mirror Domains Movie News, your place for entertainment headlines, where indeed we are a live news show for movie fans where we talk about all the trending movie news headlines of the day, including what's going on with that Naked Gun reboot. Is there going to be a villain cast for that? Heat 2. Yeah, they're going to be making a Heat 2 with Michael Mann directing. Hangover 4. Karate Kid casting. It's the weekend's box office. So Napoleon was defeated, really, by Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. The Hunger Games comes in at number 1. We'll talk all about that. But we'll start off today's show by talking about Venom 3 and it resuming production post-strike. Yes, Tom Hardy took to his social media to tell the fans that Venom 3 is back in order. Good. Now, I like the first Venom movie. I think I'm with most people that felt a little bit let down by Venom 2 because you were using Carnage and you got Woody Harrelson to play Cassidy, but it was kind of like you muted him, man. You didn't let him go off and do what Woody Harrelson can do, right? But anyway, we know that there's going to be a third Venom movie, and I think this will be the final one because it's kind of like, where's it going? If it's not going to be tied to any kind of version of Spider-Man, he's just going to fight another symbiote. Do we really need to see it? That's about it. Yeah. So The Last Dance, thankfully we're back shooting. Tom Hardy wrote on his Instagram with a photo of himself and Kelly Marcel and a stunt double, Jacob Tamori. It's been and continues to be a lot of fun, this journey. There's always hard turns to burn when we work, but doesn't feel as hard when you love what you do and when you know you have great material, and the support at all sides of a great team. Okay, did they pull this? No, they didn't pull the, whatever. So it resumes production. When is Venom 3 supposed to come out? Well, it was supposed to be coming out next year, release-wise, but it's still being slated for November 8th. And guys, you know, these release dates, they can be moved around and such because of, well, if they're just getting underway, maybe. Why does it say Andrew Garfield there? Guys, no. He's not. Andrew Garfield is not in Venom 3. I think that's something that we all want to see, but it's not. Juno Temple, Chiwetel Ejiofor is going to be in it. What? How's that possible? How's that going to work out? Is he Moto? I don't think so. That's weird, huh? Kelly Marcel directs. Yeah, so I do like Juno Temple coming to the cast. That's kind of cool. I don't know. He'll just fight another symbiote and then that'll be about it, right? It would be awesome if it was connected to Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. You guys can connect it that way. I think that's something that everybody would like to see, but do the studios give you what you want to see? No, not really. Not most of the time. I don't understand it. But anyway, Venom 3 back in production. Next, Saltburn opened up this weekend, guys, and I wanted to talk about Saltburn before we get into the weekend's box office because it will come up at during conversations about that. Turn off YouTube chat, James. I think we are ready to rock and roll. All right. Saltburn is out in theaters right now, guys, and here's my quick movie review. Saltburn, what's it about? Well, it has Jacob Elordi and Barry Keoghan in it. The synopsis reads, a student at Oxford University finds himself drawn into the world of a charming and aristocratic classmate who invites him to his eccentric family's sprawling estate for a summer never to be forgotten. And that sprawling estate is called Saltburn. So the estate is called Saltburn. Barry Keoghan is the student who gets invited there. Jacob Elordi is the guy that invites him there. I gotta tell you, did I like this movie or not? I'm kind of in the middle. I don't know if I liked it. I appreciated certain aspects about it, like the cinematography Now, this movie did have a different aspect ratio, which I think lended itself to show like the expanse of the manor, but I don't. This is just a directing choice. It was beautifully shot. Jacob Elordi and Barry Keoghan are the standouts here. And oddly enough, for me, the other standout was Rosamund Pike. She was really fantastic in this. Um, they played a great job of being like that rich class, kind of eccentric, kind of, they like to look down at other classes and make fun of them, or like look at pop culture and go, ha 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 ha, ha, oh my, kind of thing. Oh my, yeah. So like acting wise, it was really well done. Who else was in this? Archie Madekwe. We just saw him in Gran Turismo. He was good in it. And then the father figure was Richard E. Grant, which for some reason is not being listed here. And he did a good job too, kind of playing that kind of, again, frivolous, I guess, well, he's the father of the manor. So it's kind of like, uppity kind of eccentric rich person that likes to, look down his nose. Not really, though. Actually, Richard E. Grant did a good job. Yeah, so there's like debauchery going on there. If you've seen the trailers for this, it's kind of, he gets invited there and then things start to go weird. There's going to be a certain point in the movie where you're like, well, where's this all going? What's happening here? And then you realize, okay, is he in love with Jacob Elordi's character or not? Because he seems to be playing both sides of the fence here. So if you're trying to look at it from like a love story angle, that's not really what this is about. It's kind of like obsession. Like they're obsessed with him because he comes from a lower class, and he's obsessed with them because they're rich and they have privilege, right? So it's kind of like they're playing off of that back and forth. And I think it achieves that fairly well. And it kind of does something towards the end where it's kind of like, I don't know if it's going to land with everybody. But let's go over to the early score sheet and take a look at where I would start to rank this. Acting, directing, and story are out of a possible 2 points each. The acting, as I said, from Barry and Jacob was good. And then I guess Richard E. Grant and even Archie Madekwe did well. So I'll give acting a full 2 points. Directing, as I said, stylistic choices. There were some pacing issues in here, though. As I said, there's a couple times where you're like, okay, well, where's this going? What are you doing? I understand that we're having this scene out here at night and stuff like that, and he's trying to romance the daughter, I guess. It's kind of like, well, coming back on itself, did that really serve anything? What was the point of that kind of thing? There's a couple moments in that movie where it'll be kind of like that. And I'm going to come back to directing. Story-wise, this story's not going to be for everybody. It does have an interesting premise, and it got me interested because of that premise. I wanted to see how he reacted going to this rich place. That I may have to come back and revisit, though. I may have to come back and revisit this. I may add more points to it. Cinematography and score out of a possible 1 point each. And as I said, that aspect ratio, it worked for me. And I usually don't like that kind of aspect ratio because, hey, if you got widescreen, go for widescreen. But it's a director's choice, and they used it very well. Kind of like Zack Snyder's Justice League, how it was in that kind of frame. It's a bit like that. Score, they use pop music soundtrack kind of thing that comes in and out of it. That may be a highlight for some people. It may be a real highlight for some people, but for me, it was kind of like everything else kind of, it served its purpose. So we're sitting at 5.5 as of right now for Saltburn. Let's go over to the tomato meter and see what other people are saying about this. See where it landed and resonated. Oh, 69% by critics. 76 by the audience. So the audience liked it a little bit more than critics. Yeah. And I'm going to guess here it's because of that ending, because of where it goes. As I said, there's a couple moments in it where you're like, well, okay, well, what are you doing with this? Show me where you're going to go with this. And then when it gives you answers to that, it's kind of like, Do I like that? It's making a statement. The movie does make a statement. And it's a statement that will be kind of like, for most people, be like, that's really mean-spirited, man. That's really mean-spirited. And it's kind of like, it's shocking where that mean-spiritedness comes from at times. So it's kind of like, oh, they're going to make fun of him kind of thing. They're going to belittle him and make him out to be kind of like, a peasant. But it's not. It's actually it unfolds in a different way than you would think that it would. Anyway, 69% by critics, 76% by the audience. Let's see what some of the snapshot reviews are saying. Minneapolis Star Tribune liked it. I've seen Kyogen in many movies, but I barely recognized him in Saltburn. Okay, it's a high wire act. Even if Saltburn isn't always sure what it is doing, Kyogen never misses a beat. Yeah, he is really good in it. So praise to that. CTV Your Mornings says, a risible and hollow talented Mr. Ripley for the Euphoria generation. Talented Mr. Ripley. Interesting analogy there. I think I have to agree with that. There were shades of talented Mr. Ripley in there. As you can see from some of the cinematography there. This is one of the reasons why I'm giving cinematography a full point, because they do use some interesting shots in here. And is Barry Keoghan playing a little bit of that talented Mr. Ripley role? A touch, yes, I would say so. Let's take a look at Rolling Stone, who liked it. Come for the class warfare and the occasional shots fired. Zingers about the rich being different than you and me. Stay for Keoghan. Guys, and I need to tell you this. While the performances are good, and while there are debauchery and a lot of sex going on in the background, prepare yourself for some rated R nudity as well. The full Monty is shown here a couple times, and if that's not your bag, then, just brace yourself, because they don't shy away from that kind of stuff here in Saltburn. I saw Perry Nemiroff's review, and she said that she went back and revisited this movie a couple times. This is like one of her favorites, and I don't understand why. I understand that it was well shot, well acted, but as I said, that message that they're trying to drive home here it's not going to sit well with everybody, and I'm just kind of like, I don't know which part of the movie she found so exhilarating, other than, like, I guess the set design. I just I don't find myself going back to this. So instead of just scrolling through the critics here, guys, 69% by the critics, 76% by the audience. I think I'm a little bit more on the critics side here. I can't go quite as high as 7.5 for Saltburn. If you're a student of acting, then you'll want to check this out. If you're a student of cinematography, yeah, you'll want to check this out. But like, story-wise and thematically, I think it achieves what it is trying to do. I just don't know if I like what it was trying to do. And that's where I kind of have to land. So let's go back to the score sheet here and finish out this review. Watchability factor. As I said, if you're acting, if you're a fan of any of these actors, you want to watch it at least once. So that brings us up to 7.5. I'm going to go back to directing here. Now, I'm going to give directing a 1.5, but I'm not going to give story anymore. Because, well, James, you said the story achieved what it wanted to do, so why would you knock it for that? It's just, it's bleak. Bleak is the best way to describe what Saltburn is. It's a bleak film. You're not going to be leaving the film going, oh, wow, what did I just watch? I feel like I want to go out and conquer the world now. No, this is an examination of, yeah, that the power struggle sort of between classes. It's a bit like that. And then, as I said, it's got the overtones of Does he love him or does he love him back? What's going on there with that? And if you're not going to be satisfied with a little bit of an ambiguousness about it all, then Saltburn may not be for you. 7.5 feels right about for me. That feels really fair. So I am actually a little bit higher than the critics when all said is done. I'm a little bit more with the audience here. 7.5 Saltburn. I don't know if it's going to be Best Picture of the Year or anything, but acting-wise, Barry Keoghan does a great job. So for that, I would say check it out. Saltburn, what'd you guys think? If you went out and saw it, let me know in the comments below. Hey, if you like this kind of stuff, there are my other social media handles. What else can you find here on the channel? Well, if you like this kind of review, my review for Napoleon's up on the channel. Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, Hunger Games, The Marvels review, Priscilla, Jacob Elordi, talking about Jacob Elordi. He's in that movie as well, Priscilla. We watched episode 9 of Survivor last week, and Hell's Kitchen comes back this week with episode 9. It was off last week because of the Thanksgiving weekend there in the States. And of course, then, you know, we do movie news throughout the week where we talk about all the trending movie news headlines of the day. So if you like movies and stuff, that's my bag. And hopefully you'll find content here on Mirror Domains that you like. See you next time. All right. Let's take some live comments here, and then we'll get back into the movie news headlines. Artglass in live chat says, I almost thought Saltburn was going to go down the Get Out storyline. Glad it has a bit more depth of characters. Yeah, it's mostly all about characters. The acting is good. And who do I forget to praise? I forgot to praise the girl in this who plays the daughter. Who is that? It's not Sadie Overall. Is it Sadie Overall? Is it Millie Kent? No. I really wish they organized this a little bit better. I do. Ewan Mitchell is in this. Yeah, I recognized him. He was in Game of Thrones. He was Aemond in Game of Thrones. He was in this movie. Just a small role. He's got a very recognizable mouth, so that's how I recognized him. They're not giving the whole cast here. Like, why isn't Richard E. Grant or Rosamund Pike listed here? Like, that's like they should be near the top billing. Yeah. Richard E. Grant and Rosamund Pike was also. Carey Mulligan was in this too. Poor dear Pamela. So see how they even made her name Poor Dear Pamela. Carey Mulligan is a great actress. And she just, like, when you see her in the movie, you're just locked into whatever she's doing. And that's just why I want to go out and see Maestro as well, because she's in that, and I think she's going to give a really good performance in that. Arglass says, I felt the bleakness in Snowpiercer, so I guess Saltburn would tread some of the similar ground as Snowpiercer regarding the conflict of class. A little bit, yeah. A little bit. It's got a little bit of talented Mr. Ripley in there as well. A little bit more kind of like Basic Instinct almost. That's a weird pull from like Michael Douglas and Sharon Stone. It had a very, yeah, it was bleak. All right, let's get back into the movie news headlines. Because it's Monday. Time to talk about the weekend's box office report. And where did Saltburn land? Well, let's just take a look, shall we? Now, guys, we've got a couple of options to us. We got the 2-day weekend, and then we got the 5-day weekend and the 4-day weekend numbers here. So I just want to show the difference between the 5-day weekend numbers. Songbirds and Snakes had 42 million. It still came in number 1, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. But on the 2-day weekend, as you can see, I'm going to toggle in between the two here. They didn't really change much in the top 5, right? Just the amount that was grossed changed. But on the 2-day weekend, there wasn't that much of a difference between Wish and Napoleon. So it almost could have, Napoleon could have almost come in 3rd. I thought that Wish was going to come in number 1. So the top 5 for the weekend of November 22nd to the 26th. Thanksgiving weekend in the States. The top 5 go. Number 1 was The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, The Hunger Games. Number 2 was Napoleon. Number 3 was Wish. Number 4 was Trolls Band Together. And number 5 was Thanksgiving, the Eli Roth movie that I haven't seen yet. I'm going to go try to see it tomorrow, guys. I apologize. I'm really dragging heels on that one. Now here it says TriStar Pictures, but Thanksgiving is Spyglass, which is also responsible for that whole Scream 7 debacle. But let's just go with the Hunger Games that managed to pull out $42 million on its 5-day weekend and $28.8 on its 2-day weekend. So that's really good. For a really drop of 35%, that's spectacular. That's awesome. And I got to tell you this. I like The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I did. So 98.3 domestically, 56 internationally, for a worldwide total of $154.6 million on a budget of around $100 million. For, well, maybe around $130 million. Guys, it's, well, on top of what theaters have to take and stuff like that, marketing, it's on its road to breaking even. It's not a smash hit or anything like that, but it's not a bomb. Nobody can tell you that the Hunger Games Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is a bomb. The runtime really hurt this movie, though. 2 hours and 37 minutes. We've got to stop with this 2 hours and 30 minutes stuff in the theaters. We got to stop. Because this is a movie that would have benefited from being 2 hours. There's the stuff that could have been cut out. And that goes for the same thing with Saltburn that we just reviewed here. Saltburn could have easily benefited from an edit. And Saltburn came in on 10th. It only opened up in 1,500 theaters, though. So, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, people who saw it really liked it. Critics were kind of like meh, middle of the road, but people who saw it liked it. Tom Blythe, good performance. President Snow. And actually, I kind of like Rachel Zegler as well. But despite that, I don't know if, well, next week it's got Beyonce coming out against it, and it's got Godzilla -1, which I'll be going to see. Godzilla -1, hyped, first movie of December. And that's an international movie, though, so I don't know if it can, like, let's say the Hunger Games and all of these get chopped into around 20 million. Can Beyonce I think will make more than 20 million. It should. Will Godzilla make that? I don't know. I hope. That would be awesome, though. But let's talk about the big headline. Napoleon, Ridley Scott, defeated by The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, came in at the number 2 spot, barely, just barely, by, well, not even a million, right? By 800,000. Just defeated Wish. And that's the 5-day weekend. Let's take a look at the 2-day weekend. 900,000 there by the 2-day weekend. So Napoleon secured the 2nd spot, but 32 million domestically, 46 internationally. It's done better internationally. Foreign markets are appreciating Napoleon a lot more than us here in North America, for a worldwide total of 78.8 million. Yes. On a budget of 200 million. Ayah. That's not going to go up, guys. Those, like, domestically, those numbers aren't going to go high. It's probably going to cap out somewhere around 50 million domestically if you're lucky. Internationally, you better pray that some other markets are going to bring it up. Even if you got praise from somebody like Francis Ford Coppola giving tribute to Ridley Scott, it's not going to be enough, man. And did you know that Ridley Scott is knighted? I didn't. If I knew that, I totally forgot about it. That, yeah, he's a sir. He was knighted a while ago, in like 2003 or something. And now Francis Ford Coppola wants him to be a duke. Just praising his work. But I got to tell you, the people that saw it and the critics alike are kind of like, well, it's just like snapshot. The best review I heard was it was like the Cole's Notes version of events that happened to Napoleon. You don't really there's no moment in it where you're like, Joaquin deserves the Oscar for that. That was a great scene. There's nothing like that in there. It's just kind of like, well, there he is. There's Josephine. Yeah, there's that relationship that they had. There he is on the battlefield. That's what Napoleon was. It's six. I think I gave it a 5.5, didn't I? And maybe I was harsh on it. Um, it's not a terrible film, but it's not also all that memorable. And I don't know what Oscar, like the cinematography. We talked about that in my review. Like the cinematography, everything was like washed out and muted. And while the battle scenes did look impressive, it was still all of that muted color, and it's kind of like, ah, ah, ah. Ridley Scott, I don't know. I don't know if he's good at historic epics. I don't think he is. I think this would have been benefited a lot better if it was handled by a different director. And the criticisms about his accent, his use of language, I totally understand that. I do. But Napoleon, you were defeated, and you're gonna have a fight coming forward in December. It's gonna drop off. It's gonna, yeah. It'll be fifth spot this next week, I think, and it'll be lucky to get the fifth spot. Let's talk about the other box office bomb. Wish. Wish opened up. Disney's new movie only opened up to 31 million domestically, 17 internationally, for a worldwide total 49 million. 49 million, huh? On a budget of 175 to 200 million? What? Guys, I don't understand this. This is an animated film. Why does that cost $200 million? So the critics didn't like it. Audience members seem to be giving it more of a pass. I just heard that there were structure problems with the script. A lot of it didn't really make sense. And I, like, even my nephew or niece who saw the trailers were kind of like, I'll just wait for Disney Plus. And I think that's pretty much the way that most people will go. I know that there will be people out there saying, well, it's wokeism or something like that, and they deserve to have a failure. I don't wish ill will upon movies like Wish, but when you come in third spot for a kids movie that should easily make more than 28 million, it should on an opening weekend. Um, Even if you got a 5-day weekend like this last weekend in the States, it still came in third. So it couldn't beat Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, The Hunger Games, and I think for the most part, it's going to go down as just a bomb because it costs so much money. And I don't understand it because it looks like it was using that animation style where, yeah, the characters in front were moving, but like they used a lot of background plates that were static and didn't move at all. At least that's the way that it looked in the trailers. Um, yeah, and again, I did hear that it did try to have like that social commentary message about like classism or something like that, and it didn't land or something. I'm not really all that. I'm not going to end up watching this, so it's kind of like, well, it is what it is. But I think some people, some haters out there, will be rejoicing of Wish's failure. Rounding out the top five were Trolls Band Together and Thanksgiving. So, Saltburn, the other new release, opened up in 10th spot. It climbed from the 14th spot to the 10th spot. Now, it only opened up in 1,500 theaters, so it's still a small release, Saltburn. 3 million domestically, worldwide total of 6.1 worldwide. And Saltburn, I think, is a movie that with the budget that it had, let me just take a look at it'll be smaller. It will be smaller. I'm not seeing a sticker tag here for it. But I would say maybe around 15 to 20 million is what that cost. Maybe. Yeah, sorry guys, they don't have a posting for it yet. But Saltburn, um, it had an impressive cast. It was well shot. Emerald Fennelly directed. She did, or they did, Promising Young Woman. She, right? She played Midge in Barbie. Cool, I didn't know that. Camilla Parker Bowles. Wow, she's an actress as well. The Danish girl, Elsa. Huh. Okay, so she also directed stuff. IMDb. Come on, give me the directing credits. How careful? How could you go? So Saltburn, very interesting directing wise. Building up a really interesting resume, and I think Saltburn. It's a it's an interesting entry on that resume. Um, yeah. So that's pretty much the weekend's box office. We'll have to see how that goes. As I said, next week, all these movies are going to be running into Beyonce's movie and Godzilla minus one. We'll have to see how that shapes up. All right. I think that's pretty much all I got for the weekend's box office. What else can you find? Oh, we already did that. Yeah. Uh, Our Glass and Live Chat says the buzz is Bradley Cooper will take the best Oscar, possibly in multiple categories. Joaquin will get a nomination, I guess. No, I don't see Joaquin Phoenix getting a nomination. Because it just wasn't there. Barry Keoghan from Saltburn did a way better job than uh, Joaquin Phoenix. I don't see that. I hear good things about Bradley Cooper for Maestro, and we will be watching Maestro. I think we will. Actually, I heard that it's kind of racy. I don't know if we can watch that on. It's going to be on Netflix in December, so we'll be watching it. I'll be watching it and reviewing it at least. Maestro. All right, let's talk about the Karate Kid casting. Yeah, we heard about this news last week. Let's talk about that. There was an open casting call. Karate Kid open casting call quickly lands 10,000 submissions for the lead role in the new film. That's going to see Ralph Macchio return with Jackie Chan. That's going to be weird, kind of a weird mashup. Yeah, the video that, yeah, there they are right there. Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio put out last, I guess it was last week, and they said, well, here we're, submit your audition. They want, a mixed race Chinese age range from 15 to 17. So they want somebody really young to be the next Karate Kid. 10,000 submissions, that's quite a bit. And I pulled this other article. Cobra Kai creators have been involved in new Karate Kid movie starring Ralph Macchio and Jackie Chan. I think that's the concern for a lot of people who are fans of Cobra Kai. We're kind of like, well, is it going to fit into that universe? Is it going to be, uh, is that canon? Like, what's going on here with these two storylines? So, though not directly involved, Cobra Kai creators John Hurwitz and Josh Harold Healed and Hayden Schlossberg have been consulted about the new Karate Kid film. So they've been consulted, right? I just, I just don't want the new movie to step on the toes of what Cobra Kai had achieved, right? For the fans of that, it just seems nonsensical. It seems moronic if that's what you were going to do. If you're just going to say that Cobra Kai didn't happen, and here's this next movie, Karate Kid movie with obviously Ralph Macchio, right? It's kind of like, well, you've got a series there of lore that you could draw upon from character and richness. As long as you don't do what the Marvels did, where you kind of like you have to watch Cobra Kai to understand where Danny's character is in in this uh, Karate Kid movie, right? Um, just have like eggs and nods where if you did watch it, then you would understand, right? But for the most part, if they're going for a new student, then I could see that you don't really need to have watched Cobra Kai. But as long as you know that that's in Dan's history there, Ralph Macchio's character, Daniel's history, then I think most people will be satisfied with that, right? have been known that it is happening and have been offered assistance when asked. So the creators of Cobra Kai have been asked. A source close to the project tells LIO9 the team has seen and given notes on all iterations of the script, and Whistle speaks to them often, which is great news. They know and understand Karate Kid better than anyone. If they're supportive of the film, that's a huge bonus. Yeah, of course. Of course. So Cobra Kai creators are going to be involved with that. So that's at least with consulting. They're not going to be developing the story or anything like that, right? But just to know that, yeah, I think that should put some fans at ease going into this, whatever this new movie is going to be about. This is just going to be about basically Daniel and Jackie Chan, kind of Mr. Han, mentoring the next Karate Kid. That's pretty much what's going to happen, right? Trying to reinvigorate the franchise for theatrical releases. I think they can pull it off, and I hope it's good. I want it to be kind of like, if they can get the heart of the first one and a little bit of kind of like that mentor role that was going on with Karate Kid 2, I could see that too. All right. So that's what's going on with that. Hangover 4. Guys, Bradley Cooper. We were just talking about Maestro. He's going to be in Maestro this year. He says that he's down for Hangover 4 in an instant, although he knows the director Todd Phillips would never return. Yeah, well, Todd Phillips is on to doing other things like Batman, right? I didn't realize that Todd Phillips did the guys. I gave up after I started to watch the second one, and I was like, no, this is the same shtick over and over again, isn't it? This is like, I think Hangover 2 and 3 are like the definition of cash grab. We're all here just for the paycheck kind of thing. Hey, I'm not. If you liked it, by all means. But yeah, he's been out doing press for Maestro. I don't think Todd is ever going to do that. Yeah. It's Crash. Which one was it with Mike Tyson? Was that the second one or was that the first one? I just kind of got like, they're kind of old now for that kind of thing. It's kind of like Wedding Singers. They're too old for that now, so they'd have to retool it, right? Or like One Last Gasp. I don't know. But Bradley Cooper says that he would be down for a Hangover 4. Do you guys want to see that? I don't know. Heat 2. I'd be up for that. Adam Driver is in talks to star as Neil McCauley in Heat 2. Michael Mann confirms. Yes. Now, Michael Mann had written the book for Heat 2, and in that book, it's kind of like a prequel and sequel to the movie. So you're going to see Neil McCauley there and Al Pacino's character younger. And Adam Driver is in talks to play the younger Robert De Niro character, because Adam Driver just worked with Michael Mann on Ferrari, which is due out in December. Still one of my most anticipated movies of the year. I still want to see that. Adam Driver is a great actor. So it sounds like they're trying to get this off the ground. I don't know who would play the younger Al Pacino. And then it's kind of like, well, after the events of Heat, you can't have Robert De Niro there because it was pretty definitive. They better not retcon that, because it will kind of like ruin the ending of that movie, which is a masterpiece. Heat is a masterpiece. It's one of my favorite cops and robbers movies. The tale of how I discovered it back when I worked in the video store. You know how they had like dual cassettes for 3-hour films. I put on the first half of the film like at 1 o'clock in the morning, thinking, I'll watch this, I'll pass out, and I'll watch the second half the next night. No, I was hooked. I watched all 3 hours of it that night. It was like 4:30 in the morning when I finally went to sleep, and it was like, well, it was worth it, man. Heat was a fantastic experience. Wow. I don't know if that magic can be caught in the second one. I haven't read the books, so I don't know how that distinction between like the older and the younger versions of them are going to work. They're going to have to recast the Val Kilmer role, because Val Kilmer can't do that anymore, unless they do the older version where they kind of do what they did in Top Gun Maverick, where his character did have some kind of a throat cancer. I don't know. We'll have to see. Get Ashley Judd back too. Where's Ashley Judd these days? I know that she had that problem with the Weinsteins. Right. But I'd like to see that. We're in discussion. That's all I can say about it, Michael Mann said. So I don't even know who would be making it right now. Well, obviously Michael Mann was going to be directing, but the shades of way that this is coming together, it's shades of the same way that Gladiator 2 came out. Ridley Scott had been working on the script for a long time. He got an actor attached to it, Mescal, right? And it was like, this is what I want to do. And then finally a studio came in and said, okay, we're going to make this with you, Ridley. I feels like that's the same way that this movie, Heat 2, is going to happen. It'll be kind of like Michael Mann's got the script, the director, and now the lead actor on board for it. And then the studio will come in and say, okay, I guess we'll make it for you. Here it is. Just don't have it cost $200 million, please, for the love of God. Because Heat is not a big action movie. It's more about the drama, right? And that'll be an interesting casting. I want to see it. Naked Gun reboot is in the works too. And whatever happened to that? We got it like a year, maybe 2 years ago even. We heard that Liam Neeson was going to be playing the Frank Drebin role. But now we got Mads Mikkelsen in talks for the villain. So who's he going to be? Pap Schmear? Or the main guy that tries to hire the queen, right, to get the queen killed. Mads Mikkelsen is reportedly in talks to be the villain. Yeah, as reported by Daniel Richman, Mads Mikkelsen is in talks to play the villain Kane. Okay, about Kane and Mikkelsen has not officially inked the deal. Naked Gun installment. I would personally love to see him in the role. Yeah, Ricardo Montalban's Victor Ludwig. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If confirmed, Mads Mikkelsen will join Ricardo Montalban. Right. Robert Goulet's Quentin Hapsburg in the second one, and Fred Ward's Rocco Dillon. But Pap Schmear was kind of like in between the first one and the third one. He was in the third one. He worked with Rocco, right? So I don't know. Apparently, they do have the script, and I think Nielsen. I think Liam can. I think he can pull that off. It'd be because he would play it seriously, right? But everything else around him would be kind of like just so farcical, and then having Mads Mikkelsen in there, I think that'd be kind of fun. Lots of fun. Naked Gun is like one of my calming movies. You know, you ask somebody like, what's a movie that just cheers you up? Naked Gun is one of those movies for me. And it's just so hilarious. And everybody, yeah, this lipstick scene, I was like, what are they, like I see people reacting to it, and it's like, what are they eating? And they were pistachios. A certain brand of pistachios had like this pink kind of powder on them. I don't know why. It didn't really change the flavor of them. I like pistachios. But anyway, what do you guys think about that? Mads Mikkelsen, Naked Gun. I don't know when this is going to be shooting. Maybe next year, if this gets off the ground. Yeah, Neeson, sorry, not Nielsen. Liam Neeson said, it'll either be the end of my so-called career or it'll be another little avenue. We're going to reboot the Naked Gun franchise. We'll see. The script is being developed. It's still very funny. It's still very funny stuff in it. I think he could pull it off. It would be an interesting choice. Liam, whoops. Arglass says, Liam is a good actor. Not sure for his comedic timing, but he has big shoes to fill with Leslie Nielsen's Frank Drebin character. Yeah, he does. Well, we'll have to see how that comes together. Next, Deadpool 3 is going to be a highlight for a lot of people next year. Deadpool 3, Ryan Reynolds loves Taylor Swift MCU rumors. Yes, we saw that Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, and the director Sean Levy were at a football game with Taylor Swift, right? And Taylor Swift worked with Sean Levy, the director of Deadpool 3, in her short film. So they're all friends. And so Ryan Reynolds making this declaration that he loves the Taylor Swift rumors, saying that she's going to be like Lady Deadpool. He loves it. And of course, it's press, and you can't get a bigger name than Taylor Swift. Ryan Reynolds is a pretty big name too up there. So speaking with the Vancouver Sun, Reynolds didn't confirm or deny Swift's involvement in Deadpool 3, but he likes the press, of course. Yeah, I haven't heard that one, said Reynolds, laughing. I love it. The gossip. I think it's a sign of how eager people are to get a peek behind the curtain in this world. Every single one of these secrets and spoilers will be revealed July 26th when Deadpool 3 comes out. I just like, obviously she wouldn't be a major character, but it'd be kind of fun just to have her like pop up as a cameo. Why not? Oh, there she is on The Voice, right? God, she's so fun. Look at her dancing. So somebody's calling it now. Ooh, they better make it more like the first movie, but it sadly seems like Ryan Reynolds 3 instead of Deadpool 3. Ah, downvote that. So he's being grumpy, whatever. Swift is hugely overrated. Yeah, she is. She's a good actress. She's one of the most prolific songwriters in music history. Yes, she is. The people who don't like her don't care. The people who don't like her don't care either. Here you are. Pointless shocker. Yeah. Yeah, so if she's Lady Deadpool, I think she'll maybe just have a cameo in the background. That would be kind of fun to see. But Deadpool 3, interesting talk. That's back on schedule too now for shooting-wise, Deadpool 3. But we'll have to wait and see. Taylor, she's got the Eras Tour movie out right now, and that's going to be streaming soon here in December. So if you didn't see it in theaters, the extended version will include 3 bonus tracks. Cool. Yeah, apparently she's been playing different songs in the South American tour right now or something. So she'll be playing The Wildest Dreams, The Archer, and Long Live. Will be on demand December 13th, her birthday. Her birthday's December 13th. Yeah, that makes sense. So the singer announced herself on Twitter, writing to her fans, "Hi. Well, so basically I have a birthday coming up, and I was thinking a fun way to celebrate the year we've had together would be to make the Eras Tour concert film available for you to watch at home. Very happy to be able to tell you that the extended version of the film, including Wildest Dreams, The Archer, and Long Live, will be available to rent on demand in US, Canada, and additional countries to be announced soon, starting on, you guessed it, December 13th. Cool, man. Cool. So if you're a Taylor Swift fan, December 13th is when you get to see the Eras Tour at home. And you can sing in peace without worrying that you'll bother anybody else. All right. Let's go on to some hit or miss headlines. Margot Robbie doesn't see the need for a Barbie sequel. Yeah, this came out last week. And guys, she doesn't, well, Margot Robbie doesn't believe that there's a need for a sequel. Money tells you that there's going to be a sequel. And you know how they would make a whole bunch of money making a Barbie 2 sequel? Put Taylor Swift in it. Make her rock star Barbie. Right there, and then right there, you've got another $1 billion in your pocket. But Margot Robbie says that she doesn't see the need for a Barbie sequel. I think the quote, something to the effect that everything was said and done in the first movie. Let's see what she said here in speaking with the Associated Press via EW. Quote, I think we put everything we had into this one. We didn't build it to be a trilogy or something. But director Greta Gerwig put everything into this movie, so I can't imagine what would be next. Well, she was going to go into the real world, so she'll have adventures out there, right? Saying, I feel like that at the end of the movie, like, I'll have another idea and everything I wanted to do, I did. I wouldn't want to squash anybody else's dream, but for me, at this moment, I'm totally at zero. Gerwig. So that's what Gerwig said. Money talks, guys. There's going to be another sequel. And here's the bad thing. Like, I'm sure that Margot Robbie's contractually, and probably Ryan Gosling, are contractually obligated to appear in a second one. But if Greta Gerwig doesn't want to do the second one, the studio will have enough muscle just to push over and bring in somebody else to do a Barbie 2. Barbie 2 is going to happen. As I said, money talks. So it's an interesting perspective. I appreciate Margot Robbie for saying that. That it feels like, yeah, the first Barbie movie could be a one and done. It does feel like they said everything that they set out to do. But just like me, we're movie fans here. The money talks. It's going to happen. Uh, Arglass says, I can think of a billion reasons why Barbie needs a sequel. Yeah, that's exactly why. So just work on the idea. Next. What do we have next? John Hamm. Let's talk about John Hamm. John Hamm wants to join the Marvel Cinematic Universe, maybe as Doctor Doom. I thought people wanted him as Mr. Sinister. I thought he wanted to be Mr. Sinister from the X-Men. Could he be Doom? He just wants to be somebody. John Hamm recently told Screen Rant the whole Marvel Studios is in his sights. It won't be him making that final decision, though. Those decisions get made at such a high level at this point, definitely above my pay grade. I would love to. I've been a fan of Marvel Comics and comics in general since I was probably single digits. I think there are tons of stories that I'm familiar with, at least that are still out there to be told. Hopefully, whatever their plans are, they include me. But if not, I know they had a pretty deep bench of folks that are ready to be part of those stories. There's certainly a lot of stories in the X-Men world to be told. Fantastic Four as well, like Doctor Doom. So that's where that quote is. That's where people are drawn from that. That's where he references Doctor Doom. There are so many great things out there, but yeah, I hope I get a chance. Who knows? Question mark. I I think I don't know. Pedro Pascal, Doctor Doom. Yeah, he'd be around the same age. So I could see maybe as Doctor Doom, as long as he wears the mask. I know that the studios will be like, well, you're getting John Hamm. We want to see his face, so he'll only wear the mask for 2 minutes of the movie, but for the rest, we'll see his face. And it's like, we want to see the mask, man. Anyway, whatever. That's just kind of like a what if scenario. I don't see that one happening right away. Next. Mark Hamill definitely won't return as Joker without Kevin Conroy. Kevin Conroy passed on, so rest in peace. He was the voice of Batman, Bruce Wayne. And Mark Hamill saying that he wants to set down his version of the Joker. He's done with doing iterations of that. I think he said that after Killing Joke, didn't he? He said he was done with it anyway after that. So at a fan expo in San Francisco, he said he won't be voicing the role unless it's opposite Kevin Conroy's Batman. Without Batman, crime has no punchline. Yeah. That's a given. Next. Ozzy Osbourne says he hopes to perform one last show amid health struggles. I didn't realize he had some health problems. Said doctors found a tumor in one of his vertebrae during surgery. Ooh. Well, yeah, I knew about the Parkinson's. Did I? Well, he just abused his body throughout the ages, so it's kind of like I'm surprised he's made it this far. But he wants to play one more show, and if he can, he'll die a happy man. Uh, I listened to a few cuts from his last album. It was kind of interesting. He got a bunch of like celebrity cameos in there for it. In an interview with Rolling Stone, the godfather of heavy metal revealed that dislodged metal rods in his body after a bicycle. Dislodged metal rods he had put in his body after a previous quad bike crash in 2003. It's really knocked me about, Osborne said. The second surgery went drastically wrong and virtually left me crippled. I thought I'd be up and running about the second or and the third, but with the last one, they put a effing rod in my spine. They found a tumor in one of the vertebrae, so they had to dig up all that too. It's pretty rough, man, and my balance is all messed up. Damn. All my drinking partners, I realized they're all effing dead, he said. Their graveyards are full of them. They're dead and they're dead and you're dead. Yeah, so he's out of all the abuse that he's put his body through, I think he's pretty lucky to be where he's at. Now I know that he's stopped, right? He's clean and sober now, right? How old is Ozzy? 74. Very prolific though. Great career, at least musically, right? I never watched the Osbourne, so I don't know. I have to see how that goes. All right, that's pretty much all I have on tap. Let's go over to the Twitterverse and round out the show. We might actually come in under an hour, or at the hour mark, as I'd like to. The official trailer for Society of Snow has been released in theaters in December, on Netflix January 4th. Society of Snow. Never even heard of it. I don't even know what that's about. It's a little bit, oh, is it about a plane crash? Is this alive? They got to eat each other to stay alive? What's this? Timothée Chalamet and Olivia Colman for Wonka. Yeah, and then Wonka opens up in December, around the December 13th mark, right? Kala Lane for Wonka. So Wonka's out doing the press. Archie Madekwe and Jacob Elordi on the set of Saltburn. Yeah, they both did good. Good acting. Archie Madekwe, really, like if you liked him in Gran Turismo, a really different role. He's showing that he's got versatility there. May December premieres Friday on Netflix. Oh, does it? That one we can't watch together because the one lady's seduced like a student. Yeah, I'll watch it and review it. Olivia Colman for Wonka. I liked Olivia Colman in Secret Invasion. I was wanting to see her in the Marvels, but we didn't. Good actress, really good actress. Hugh Grant, Timothée Chalamet. Of course, Hugh Grant plays an Oompa Loompa. I think that'll be the selling point of that movie, right? Oh, I don't know if the pinstripe. It's kind of loud, isn't it? Huh. Oh, and another good news. Hey, I solved the problem of the black screen for Survivor and Hell's Kitchen, so that'll be solved. I still a little bit shaky with the Netflix stuff, but I think hopefully we'll get that off the ground. I want to watch Killer this week with you guys. I want to watch Killer before the end of the month so that I can add it to my resume of what I've watched in November here. An extended version of Taylor Swift's Eras Tour movie will be VOD December 13th. Jennifer Lopez, This Is Me Now. The film will debut on Amazon Prime February 16th. This Is Me Now? I don't even know what the heck that is. Is that like a... What the heck is this movie? Is this like a music video movie or what the heck is this? A musical experience. Huh. Arzu. It follows a brilliant heiress who escapes scandal in Mumbai and lands in NYC, New York City. But while training to enter Manhattan high society, she risks throwing it all away to live life on her own terms. Bridging that cultural divide, we just talked about that last week, right? All right. 10 years ago, Frozen. 4 years ago, Knives Out. Eric Roth reveals that he has written a new script for Denis Villeneuve about space and time, and it's very lonely. Speculated to be Rendezvous with Rama, it follows a group of human space explorers who are tasked with intercepting an alien starship. Fascinating. Huh. I do like Denis Villeneuve, one of my favorite directors right now. I'll watch anything that he puts out. So, there you go. Exclusive look Jacob Elordi and Saltburn. Is that how they filmed that? Yeah, they had a pig roast. There's Richard E. Grant, Rosamund Pike. Yeah, Richard E. Grant really, like, you would expect that maybe he would be like really, really over the top, but he's not. He's a little bit dialed back, but he's still eccentric. It's weird. It's a weird performance. He did a good job in it though, because he does have a couple of serious scenes where it's kind of like, um, he has to like show you his chops and stuff like that, what he can do. Beyonce at the premiere for Beyonce's, that doesn't look like Beyonce. Is that Beyonce? Okay, that looks like Beyonce. Maybe it's just a weird angle. Like that didn't look like her there, but I guess it is. Maybe it's the blonde hair that's throwing me off. Whatever. Janelle Monáe. Apparently she's in it as well. I do like Janelle Monáe. Daniel Kaluuya, Rolling Stone UK. Ali Bailey at the Beyonce film. You guys think Beyonce is going to be number one? It's going to beat. It'll beat Godzilla. It will. Lupita Nyong'o. Okay. Jeremy Pope. Okay, so a lot of people at Beyonce. Michelle Williams. Hunger Games is expected to pass 100 million domestically by Sunday. Yeah, now that I don't know if there's going to be a sequel to. Yeah. Just over how are you doing today, James? I'm doing all right. We're just rounding out the show here, looking at some trending headlines. Naruto. Live action Naruto is in the works. That'll be a big hit for a lot of people, right? I don't know, man. What? I clicked that article. Tom Blythe. Venom 3 has begun filming. Yeah, we talked about that, guys. We started the show with that. In fact, that's probably where we should probably end. All right. Yeah. We started with Venom. We'll end with Venom. That's pretty much all I got in the can for today, guys. Yeah, I got the black screen all up and working, which is good. All right. What do we got? We got a trailer for Silent Night that's out. Society of Snow trailer. I wish this guy would stop with this kind of stuff. But it's getting him traction and he does it. Like, whatever. All right, guys. Join us tomorrow for more movie news and we'll see what's going on this afternoon. I don't know. Yeah, I gotta go out and do some stuff this afternoon, so we'll see. All right, hit that thumbs up button and we'll see you next time on Mirror Domains.